Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
Will with anime in our souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we are a group of weebs who love the entertainment of professional wrestling. Allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through the wrestling event of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and to provide an experience inclusive to all nerds. Grab your steel chair, yell for the table, and get put through an experience like none other. Brought to you by AniMa W3 Studio. This is the Weebs of the Ring podcast. And yeah, we had the fallout of SummerSlam tonight, which is something that a lot of us were very curious to see what was going to transpire, because just like WrestleMania, this is the big moment that we're going to be seeing moving forward in terms of, okay, what's next after the biggest party of the summer? What stories are going to come together? You know, what's going to unfold beyond that point? And I'm not alone here to talk about that tonight. Watkins is currently, dealing with things with The Rock this time, so I guess he got swept under the rug with The Rock. I know that's I guess he was the one that took the heel turn instead of Cody Rhodes last night, so that's what he's currently going through. So that's why you got me and the Visionary, the Messiah, the new World Heavyweight Champion, Legendary Vash. How are you doing tonight?
It's your boy, the Human Otafu, Legendary Vash, and as the name was concepted today, but me and Watkins have been saying it for the past couple of weeks. We have the Visionary, the Vision. We've been saying this, that this is an easy name, that they keep talking about pointing to the future, saying that they have a goal of how to run WE and how we have Braun Breaker as the next up-and-coming monster, the person to take in charge of the company in the next future. Is your boy, the Legendary Vash, and it's very excited to talk about this show tonight because, as we said it in our tweet, like we said it in our show, like Job said it, we have the aftermath of SummerSlam. Right now, we don't have the Big Monster Beast. Most likely, we'll be talking about him this coming Friday evening when it comes to our next Weebs of the Ring show, because that Thursday will be Grappling of the Week. We talk about any of the media that will be coming the next few days, so stay tuned for that because we already have some interesting ones already popping up in the timeline since early Monday. So it's going to be a very interesting show for this Thursday. But I'm very excited to talk about tonight's show of Monday Night Raw at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York City. Like Naomi said, that she was happy to get out of New Jersey in the fucking in the commercial time, and she said that she's happy to get out of New Jersey like I would. I'm in New York and I've said the same thing, and she was happy to be in Brooklyn at the Barclay. Myself, I wasn't there. It was very sad because I would love to be on Netflix with a poster like I've been in 2 other events before, and but hopefully to be on the next one. But I know, how did you feel about this Barclays Center event of Monday Night Raw for Netflix for the first time? Because I believe they're the first time we've been in New York City on Netflix this whole year.
Yeah, so I enjoyed this episode of Monday Night Raw. I wouldn't say it was a crazy episode because it definitely wasn't, but I did enjoy some aspects of it when it comes to pushing stories, when it comes to, of course, how the episode of Raw ended, which I guess we might as well just dive into our main topic right now. That's really the meat and
Let's go for it.
potatoes of everything moving forward when it comes to a world title picture scene, because you got to keep in mind, guys, this doesn't surround Gunther anymore. It doesn't surround, I was going to say it doesn't surround CM Punk, but now it does. But yeah, we have Seth Rollins, our new World Heavyweight Champion, pretty much kicking off the show, which makes sense because, that's their main champion. He's a pretty big deal. He always says that this is Monday Night Rollins, so it makes a lot of sense for things to head down that direction. And this was basically, Seth Rollins celebrating for the big moment. Paul Heyman pretty much glazing him as he normally does whenever he has a new compass and everything. And you end up seeing the Bronze there, which is Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. So, he has his 2 guys there. He speaks on, what happened over SummerSlam in terms of
Yeah.
things that went on with CM Punk, things that are going to be happening moving forward. And we also have the new name of his group, The Vision, which we have spoke about on our show. We also saw something online that was trademarked. So, I mean, hey, at least it's
I,
not
it's
not a bad
it just
name.
sucks. Yeah, it's not bad. It just sucks that they're spoiling themselves ahead of the game with the name of the division when it's trademarked early in the morning. So like I saw it, and when I finally heard it, and when Seth said it, he just looked at the camera. We are the Vision. And just looked at the camera and said like, "Yeah, we said it. We did it. We finally got that name. We accomplished it. After 3 months after WrestleMania, we came up with the name, the Vision, even though it was so easy to make." I was like, just lock in. I was like, "Yep." I've been asking for this. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. And at least when I make the thumbnails or when I write the titles of the videos or even when we do the tags and everything, at least I don't have to like say Paul Heyman's new alliance anymore. I can actually say the Vision does so and so. So it's easier on the tongue and it feels a lot better for me and Vash when we take notes and do things for the show, because that saves a lot of time just typing like 2 words now. But it's good that we have that.
Yeah, because when Drop mentions that we have notes, because we do, because like I would thread sometimes or Raw or SmackDown or PLEs, ask my notes as well. Like, is the way I'm reacting like, oh shit, this happened. Oh my god. And then sometimes if I go to extra details because I'm watching it with Wi-Fi and on my phone, so I'm just writing the thoughts down. If not, if I'm on my computer, I'm watching it on my tablet with Wi-Fi, and I have notes on the monitor, and I'm like, that's happening, and then write down notes, It's just interesting of how we could watch a show that analyze the storytelling. And for example, we have a guy who came interrupted the night. Who was he? 3 words. L.A. Knight. And he came to interrupt the show of Seth Rollins and his celebration. But I have a question. Drop, is it 4-4 breaking from how LA Knight spoke to Seth, telling about the fake injury, saying that he took the beat of the BFT, like pointing those things out, that why did you have to fake your injury to win the match, even though you already had the Money in the Bank briefcase? And he literally pointed those things out. Like, was it 4-4 breaking, or was it more like just pointing the facts that the online community already has been talking about, and LNA is just bringing what's being said to the forefront?
I feel like that's what's happening, because a lot of things that people do talk about online, it ends up getting transferred to the show when it comes to the sort of comments they make. Like, I remember something that they were showing in the video package where like Becky Lynch was like, "Oh, you shouldn't believe everything you hear online," when they were like showing that whole video package of like Seth Rollins and him cashing in on CM Punk when he won the world title. So I feel like that definitely plays into it as well. But it's nice to see that LA Knight has some involvement here, because this is the thing about LA Knight. We want to see him on a higher pedestal because of the kind of talent he is. He has the look, he has the voice, he has the wrestling ability to really grow and be a big star. So it's good that he's involving himself with Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. I'm just going to come out and say it now before we fully dive into it, that means that you're a key player if Triple H is putting you next to those guys. So I'm just glad that he's involved here. But what ended up happening outside of like, you know, LA Knight coming out and them having a little dispute between one another, you had Adam Pearce come out, and Adam Pearce has been getting tired of Seth Rollins shit. You even saw it towards the end of the show when he gave him that look. And Adam Pearce is like, you know what, we're gonna do things my way. We're going to have Seth Rollins versus LA Knight as the main event for the world title. And guess what? Both of the bronze are going to be banned. And I was like, okay.
I love that part.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, you know, I like that. This is very interesting. Was there a part of me thinking there might be a chance LA Knight could win in another universe? Probably.
Yes.
But I'm actually,
wasn't it?
yeah. But I'm kind of glad it didn't, because this is like one of the instances where I don't mind disqualifications, because I know sometimes we harp on disqualifications, but this is one of the times where I don't mind, mainly because, you know, you don't want to just feed LA Knight to Seth Rollins the first night that he's like walking in there as world champion. And you also had CM Punk being left in the dust after everything that happened, so it made sense why things happened the way it did. It's not like CM Punk came out there and attacked LA Knight and then he went right after Seth Rollins again. Like, sure, LA Knight should be mad at him because, I mean, if me and you were in that position for a world title, we would be mad too. But it does make sense that things ended up the way it did. But I mean, Seth has some accolades now. He's a 6-time world champion, which is, nice to put on his radar now. So, that's really nice to see. And yeah, before we just dive into like the match itself and talk about how everything played out, like what was your thoughts on like the opening segment itself? Like, how did you feel about it? Do you like the direction that they're going when it comes to LA Knight being involved with Seth Rollins, knowing how much a lot of people want him to be in a bigger stage, considering the kind of wrestler and the kind of potential he could go? Like, what is your thoughts overall on how we started the show before we get into the match?
Well, I appreciate for you asking me because we did speak about this briefly yesterday as well for a quick plug for our SummerSlam Night 2 coverage. We did speak about what is going to be happening for Seth. Sorry, Night 1 coverage. Like, not that Seth Cash on CM Punk, who could be interrupting, who will be the person. And we did, I believe it was you that brought it up first, that LA Knight might be the first one because he technically did pin him. He won, and he did point that out. And I did say, hey, I am the one that pinned you without a title. Now I could be the one to pin you with the title. So you have more lose to win. And I really love that and I pointed those things out, the 4-4 breaking, that like pointed the facts of what the online community has been saying about the fake injury, even with Seth going online public, I believe in a newscast or ABC or radio show, where he said that he told his daughter that he has a fake boo-boo. Imagine telling your daughter, hey, I have a fake bruise, go along with it. And then the daughter goes to school and say, yo, my dad has a fake injury. That's the insane part. So just to know that you're that committed to even let your daughter know, but your daughter's gonna go spill the beans. So that's the entertaining part of how the story is being told with Seth. And like you said, that LA Knight is being involved with these big names, even though a Saturday Night Main Event the week before or 2 weeks before during Money in the Bank as well, we saw LA Knight being involved with Roman, with CM Punk already, with Seth. So they already been around within the circles, but now it's just been more main event status and more elevated throughout the next couple of weeks now, because we might get at Paris, LA Knight versus Seth, or in some degree, now we know sometime in the future we're getting Roman versus Seth once again, and with Seth having the title, because they did lock eyes later tonight. So I know that that's something that got me excited. Once Seth was like, yo, come over here, come over here. But I know we could break that down right once we get into the match. But again, overall speaking, when it comes to the entrance ceremony of the celebration and LNI interrupting, I love Adam Pierce with the attitude come in and like, yo, Seth, I'm tired of this shit. You know what? I'm feeling good tonight. Let's set up the match right now and tonight. It felt very exciting to hear that. I was very thrilled to see the character of Seth and LNI join together. The promo, it felt very cohesive. But let's get to the match. Because
Yes.
wait, was there any other backstage segment? No, right? It's this, and then the match itself started, and then after the after event. So yes, the match started.
Yeah, so we had our main event tonight, which is Seth Rollins versus LA Knight, which is a very good main event to have, especially coming after SummerSlam, knowing the kind of level that both competitors are. So it makes sense to want to really sell a main event like that, because if I was at the show, I would want to watch something like that. And when it came to this match itself, there was many close pins for LA Knight. I mean, if you watch Cody Rhodes versus John Cena yesterday, you should probably be used to that at that point, because when it comes to really high competitive matches like that, you got two guys going back and forth a lot, kicking out of their finishers or any explosive moves that comes out of their arsenal. So that something like that should not be surprising in the slightest, especially for a world title match. And we saw that Seth took the man off the ringside floor so he could position LA Knight to punt him, which makes a lot of sense, because if you were to do something like that, you'd want to apply a lot of damage. It's like if you're inside of the ring and you have like the turnbuckle pad, like you take it off and the ref's not looking, you throw it out in the ring. Let's say hypothetically, Sami Zayn was a heel, and he was trying to set somebody up for the haluva kick, and then he did that in order to apply extra damage, and he ends up landing it, and he goes for the 1-2-3. That's essentially what Seth Rollins is doing here. It's like, okay, I'm getting LA Knight on like hard concrete, hitting the punt on him. So it makes a lot of sense for something like that to transpire. But of course, the elephant in the room, of course, like I spoke of earlier, CM Punk ended up interrupting the match. We ended up getting a disqualification. I don't necessarily mind this because, like I said, I don't really want to see LA Knight eat a loss, especially after not being on television for a little bit. So it makes a lot of sense for things to go the direction that it did. So I didn't necessarily mind this. And we ended up having both of the Bronze come out. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense when CM Punk was just really going after Seth Rollins. Like, LA Knight was trying to be like, hey, what are you doing here? You ruined my opportunity and everything. He just blew right past LA Knight, went after Seth Rollins, which makes a lot of sense because, like Adam Pearce said in the show, you took away a great moment from CM Punk, which I agree with. So that's something that me and him can have in common outside of the other things that he does, but we'll save that conversation for another day. But most people probably would agree with that. That was a really great moment that was taken away. Not saying it's necessarily bad because it made sense, but definitely was heart. The heart was definitely just crumpled a little bit in that situation. And then we ended up having, the Bronze get the advantage. They beat up LA Knight. They beat up CM Punk. We go for a Punk kick. We go for a spear and everything along the lines of that. We go for a tsunami. And then we did the typical thing that Triple H tends to do whenever he's ending the show. You see the end credit thing, you think the show's going to be ending, and we're going to be waiting for the next episode of SmackDown or the next episode of Raw or NXT or the PLE, wherever the case may be. Then we ended up seeing Roman Reigns. His music hit. I initially thought at first he was going to come from somewhere else and beat them just to catch him off guard because of the music.
I thought it's going to come from the back of the camera. I thought, I'm like, oh, pick the camera move from this side and then slowly move from this side. And I'm like, oh, is the spear going to come from the back? But then Roman came from the front. I'm like, okay, I guess he's just taking a sweet time as usual. All right.
So then we see him come in there. He starts going after both of the Bronze. He starts, hitting them with a spear, hitting them with the super punch, try to get them out of commission and everything. He starts wailing on Braun Breaker, starts wailing on Bronson Reed. And then when he's wailing on Bronson Reed, that's when Seth Rollins comes in, goes for the punt kick, and then the curb stomp, I should say. He goes for the curb stomp. And then he ends up taking Roman Reigns out of commission. He ends up getting hit by a spear. He ends up eating 3 tsunamis. And Bronson Reed ended up taking another pair of his shoes. And I'm wondering if that's ever going to be brought up, like in a promo segment in the near future, whenever things happen between Roman Reigns, like whenever he gets the mic again and they're trying to sell another match. But my thoughts on this before I pass it off to you. I like the match. I thought it was very enjoyable. Obviously, we'll get another moment with LA Knight in a world title in the near future. But obviously, things were set up the way it is because this right here is setting up a match potentially at Clash in Paris, I would assume. Unless, and I say unless, this is WWE's way of writing off Roman Reigns off of television. If they don't do a match at Clash of Paris, I'm still going to say the CM Punk, LA Knight, and Roman Reigns against the Vision at Clash of Paris. But if that isn't in the cards, the reason why I brought that up is there is a slight chance that this could have been WWE's way of writing off Roman Reigns only because of that Street Fighter thing.
Correct. I was thinking that as well.
Yeah.
That this was their way of taking out Roman Reigns from the next couple weeks because he got hit by a super spear and 3 tsunamis. So, and Michael Cole was like, his ribs probably are shattered. They're probably are broken. And I'm like, maybe one of them. Who knows on that? So with Roman Reigns, he might be out. That's a good point. We did speak that he might be gone for the next couple weeks. That's why we said last night that he should have lost the match with Jey Uso because that would have given him a reason to be gone for the couple of weeks. But hey, Bronson Reed has taken out Seth. Now Bronson Reed has taken out Roman. Hey, maybe Bronson Reed should go to AEW and also take out John Moxley, so then Bronson Reed could just take out the whole Shield team. Just saying, that would be really funny as hell. But putting that on the side, I agree with Drop. 100%. This match was entertaining. LA Knight and Seth. There's a few moments that this match almost had me that LA Knight was gonna win. Where he seemed like he was putting over with Seth very well. However, once chat, y'all need to understand. I was putting the notes down for tonight. Usually Watkins does the what usually Watkins does the team notes for us. I do my personal notes on the side, but when I do the notes for the night, I wrote there is no CM Punk or Romans right before the match was ending. At the moment, I had that for the tweet, I had that for the document. No Roman and Seth, and then once it came out, like, well, we have to change those ideas now because those are not a bit different. So it was really interesting to see how two people that I thought was not going to show up have not been promoted and were not supposed to be there originally. I was very happy to see with CM Punk interrupt the match because I agree with Drop. LA Knight did not have to take the pin if he was not going to win. This was a good opportunity to have CM Punk interrupt him. We have the 4 hour with CM Punk has, my eyes are locked on you. You are my target, Seth. And that's what it was. He said, you are my side mission. You're not the problem right now. So right now, most likely in the possible future, in a week or two, or maybe we might get one-on-one of LA Knight and CM Punk. That's a possibility because they might be under disagreement odds because of Seth. That's a possibility. Or we might get a 2-on-2 right now in the future of Seth. The Bronze and CM Punk and LA Knight, possibly in the future. Those are ideas that I'm throwing out. I agree with Drop. I don't think Roman, if Roman didn't get 3 tsunamis, I would have said it's a 3-on-3 at Paris. Most likely that would have been a good possibility. But now that Roman got 3 tsunamis, I don't think that's a chance. But I really appreciate for Roman taking a sweet time. It was really cool to see him do the spear, do the moveset. But the punt that they did for Seth to Roman when Roman was tagging, I believe, Bronson Reed, it was a beautiful angle because the camera didn't show it until it happened after or the moment. And it was such a beautiful angle. It reminded me of the leg drop from Live of Raquel and with Becky last night, that leg drop from the top rope to the table. That's what it reminded me of, like the angle showing the execution, but without the setup. It was really beautiful to see from the angle. But I do have other thoughts about the production tonight. I will explain that more throughout the show because I have a few complaints. But those are my overall thoughts for the match and for the aftermath, because I know those are the 2 possibilities, like I mentioned. Drop, what do you think about possibilities that we might have in the future? Because we're not gonna have the 3-on-3 since we said that Roman may be gone because of Street Fighter, so that's the way that they roll him out. But we have now, is it gonna be LA Knight or CM Punk versus Seth at Paris, or is it gonna be LA Knight and Seth? LA Knight and CM Punk versus the Bronze, or LA Knight versus CM Punk sometime on a Monday Night Raw. Because right now they don't like that they right now both are targeting the same target right now, so they might have a bit of a disagreement.
So there's a couple things I can see here. Either it's a tag match at Clash of Paris when it comes to CM Punk and LA Knight teaming up against, obviously Seth would be one of them, and you could either toss it between Bronson Reed or Braun Breaker. Or another scenario I was thinking of, since we shouldn't prolong this just because Roman isn't here, maybe we potentially get a triple threat match at Clash of Paris as well when it comes to CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and LA Knight. Only because there's going to be like tension between LA Knight and CM Punk now. Because if it was just like something completely different and they didn't have like any sort of dislike with one another at the moment, I would just say it would be a tag match and anything, since they have the common goal. But the fact that a world title is involved, and you can't really write out how LA Knight felt when CM Punk just cost him the match when he was going to, well, I'm not necessarily saying he was going to win the title, but he had a shot at winning it. There could be a way to resolve that tension there. So that's definitely in the cards as well, because they always like to sell these international shows really well. They like putting on a lot of explosive matches, so that could definitely be in the cards. But so like I'm either with the triple threat or the tag match. I'm leaning a little bit more towards a tag match, but I don't want world title matches to just, you know, be absent and just do tag matches all the time just because Seth Rollins has a group. Like, he's a world champion now. He could put on high profile matches. So that's
Agreed.
basically my current mindset when it comes to the sort of direction that they could go down.
No, I agree with what you said because the triple threat, I didn't think about that one. Not saying that I didn't see the vision. You see what I did there? It was an interesting plot of having them have as a triple threat. Which one do I prefer? The tag match or the triple threat? I don't know top of my head. If I had to choose right now, if you ask me which one, I would have to say I choose the triple threat because I'd love to see LA Knight and CM Punk clash together. But if the tag match happened, I'm okay with that as well because the tag match do look interesting. And that's something I'd love to see combination. Which one would I rather see is Seth and Braun Breaker. I'd love to see how that type of combo works. Imagine like a punt and spear happening at the same time. You know, Seth turning a command, go spear him, and you see a punt and spear happening at the same time. Like, just knowing that type of chemistry and choreography, I'm excited. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Like, I would love to see something like that taking the next step into the world title picture when we go down that. But it definitely looks like we have a interesting show set up next week in Canada when it comes to the aftermath of what happened tonight. So we're just gonna have to wait, stay tuned for that.
Yes.
So the next thing I do want to touch on, because we also had another set of new champions as well outside of our world champion on Monday Night Raw. We had Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and since they are the women's world champions, they have the ability to go on either Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. And Charlotte and Alexa are very good performers. They're veterans in the game, so I do trust them in full to go the extra mile to really help to build that division. Because as of late, I will say they definitely are doing a very good job with the women's tag titles when it comes
Agreed.
to Roxanne and Raquel. Like, ever since they obtained them, they have been doing a very good job with that. Now that they're on with Charlotte and Alexa, I am very interested to see what other tag teams they're going to push to the test when it comes to the sort of opponents that they go up against. So I am super excited to see how that turns out. But we ended up seeing them walk out. We ended up seeing them walk into the ring. They were talking about their accomplishments and everything. And then we had Roxanne and Raquel come out, and we had a match between both of those tag teams. And obviously, we had Charlotte and Alexa win that match because, I mean, why would they lose it? They just got the titles. But I'm just going to keep it short right here because we don't necessarily need to go forever on a lot of these segments. Like, when there's like a lot of depth with them, of course, you know, me and Vash are going to spend a couple minutes here and there talking about whatever it was. But this is probably very simple, you know, just having a rematch for the tag titles makes sense. They are owed another opportunity and everything. And having that here, what was it, a tag match night? Was it a regular one?
It was a regular match.
It was a title match?
You know, it was a regular match.
Oh, okay.
The titles were not on the line.
Okay, so I would assume if they did win, I guess then they would get like that #1 title shot. But yeah, so just basic stuff here. You know, we're pissed at you because you took our titles. We're gonna get in a match and everything. And I mean, that's basically how the cookie crumbled there when it comes to what transpired in this match itself. I don't have like many thoughts in here outside of saying it's cool seeing Charlotte and Alexa together. It's nice seeing Roxanne and Raquel build the relationship even further. What's next for them? How are they going to get those titles back if they ever do? What's in the cards for Charlotte and Alexa in terms of who they're going to be feuding with moving forward outside of just Judgment Day, because, I would love to see if there's anything else beyond that. But what is your thoughts on this match itself? Are competitors involved? Any sort of things that you wanted to bring up here.
So one thing I want to say, when it comes to this match itself, not say I didn't care for it, I just expected it. You know why? Because tell me, John, don't this remind you of WrestleMania? We had Lyra and Becky win the belts of Liv and Raquel, but then the next day on Monday Night Raw, they had a title match, a rematch because of the rematch clause. But guess what? The rematch clause happened, and Liv and Raquel became champions once again 24 hours later. For me, for this night, once I saw Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss come out of the car, they looked like they was, as you said, they are the women's tag team champions. They could show up on Monday Night Raw, NXT, SmackDown, wherever the show division they want to be on of the women's side of whatever show. They could just pop in and be like, hey, we want a match, or we want to just be here and show confidence, show some type of resilience. However, when they came out to the ring, they were in ring attire. That's when I knew, we're going to get a match. Who's going to come out and set up? My guess was going to be Raquel and Roxanne. The reason I say that is because in the beginning of the show, we saw Finn, Dominic, and JD with the girls who are still holding gold, except the girls. And, Finn like, hey, girls, it's okay, and all them down. But then Raquel and Roxanne, the punches aside, hey, let's go talk real quick. Let's regroup. Totally smart when you want to still get your things together, your balls in your basket, and be together. However, they came to this match. Guess what? They lost. Was I expecting this? Yes, because Charlotte Flair and Alexa right now are going to stay champions. I believe our prediction from yesterday was they're going to stay champions either to Survivor Series. The longest they will be is probably just to close to Royal Rumble so they could set up a match for WrestleMania. That's like the far edge goal, but we hope that they could do a good run, execution. Either of them get injured, but this match was solid. It was a good chemistry build, because right now Alexa and Charlotte has been friends or frenemies for the past 5-6 weeks. So right now they're still getting the ropes in, having TV time together, and to me as champion, as the first title defense. So let's see who's the next one for the next title defense. Could it be on NXT tomorrow, or could it be on this Friday Night SmackDown? I don't believe they have been promoted for it, but when it comes to this match, it was good. It was solid. I did have it in the quickfire segment, but I could just bring it up here. Finn Balor did say it in his promo. We could talk about the promo later, but he gave a quick update that Liv will be back stronger and better in the next 6 to 8 months.
Wow.
So it's pretty interesting that he's the one that acknowledges and promoted this during the commercial break with Braxton, saying that, hey, I'm going to just give a quick update. Liv will be coming out next 6 to 8 months stronger and better. So it's interesting that he brought this up, and also smiling as usual. So any questions or comments about that drop, that Finn actually pointed the things out, or is this something he's planning, knowing that Raquel and Roxanne lost already, or he still has a plan in motion?
I definitely feel like he still has a plan in motion, because it seems like everything is heading down the right direction ever since Liv left when it comes to Finn. Like, I'm pretty sure if you were to ask Finn deep down inside, he probably doesn't even care he probably cares for Roxanne. But I feel like in terms of like things that would affect Liv, he doesn't really care. Like, he's probably doing the best that he possibly can to really bring everybody together and completely move on from her. But I definitely do feel like he still has a plan, and knowing it that we have a time frame where she's going to be back around 6 to 8 months, that's pretty crazy in itself. So it's like, January. Oh, yeah. Damn. So
yeah, it's perfect time for Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
But also, it's also gonna be in Saudi, so who knows how
yeah,
the hype will be there during that time.
yeah. So it's either something with Royal Rumble if she does get ahead of the game, because it has happened before where some competitors get ahead of the game and they get out a little bit earlier. Possibly she returns around Elimination Chamber, Royal Rumble next year. But at least we know the time frame with her when it comes to what she's going to be doing, because I feel like we have a solid plan whenever she comes back, so that's good. But yeah.
Yeah, other than
So
that, I have no more points when it comes to Charlotte Flair and Alexa. I'm just curious to see what they're gonna be doing for this coming week's SmackDown, since right now that is their show, that is their spotlight as champion. So I'm really curious to see who's gonna step up to them and what's gonna be happening. Because at first I thought challenger would have been nice, a little type of fun or a bit of simple challenging was gonna be Natalia and Maxine Dupree. That's what that would be a little nice type of simple challenge on Monday Night Raw. But we will talk about that later because they are going to be busy in a different week.
they are, just like how a certain champion named Becky Lynch appears to be busy when it comes to who she's going to be dealing with at first, because at first, she thought to herself that there really isn't any competition anymore, because she's been dealing with Lyra ever since the WrestleMania season, like ever since the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. He's been butting heads with that girl ever since then. But now there's really nobody there for her. She's pretty much on top of the mountain. She did what she can, so she can just chill there and do whatever she wants. But Nikki Bella ended up stepping out, and she ended up having a promo segment with Becky Lynch going back and forth. And it was pretty much one of those things where Nikki Bella was saying to Becky that, she appreciates what she's done and everything like that. But, now she's out of touch with what she does. She really isn't the kind of person that she was before when she was brought into the division now. So they end up having, a little back and forth, making smart remarks between one another. And one of the lines that the public, and what I mean by public, I mean what we see on X, Instagram, TikTok, that got a lot of reaction out of people, is when Becky Lynch ended up saying, since Nikki Bella brought up Seth Rollins, saying, you're the only lies that we could really believe is, Seth Rollins, obviously alluding to the whole injury thing, and then he's not really injured, talking about how Becky Lynch just sells a whole bunch of bullshit. So that's why,
And that's her husband in real life as well.
yeah, that's why you had Becky Lynch bring up the line that, you can't see him anymore, pretty much referencing John Cena, her previous relationship and everything not working out with Nikki. So they ended up getting into a little brawl. Becky Lynch ends up hitting her, and that pretty much just tells us in general that this is going to be Becky Lynch's next opponent with the IC title. I would assume this probably happens at Clash of Paris. If I had to make a guess, makes a lot of sense, especially if you want to keep pushing the needle with the Women's Intercontinental Championship and putting it on PLE, so that makes a lot of sense. We even had a little segment backstage a little bit later where, Becky walked backstage. She ends up getting stopped by Natalia, Maxine, Dupree, and Taizawa. And, obviously, since Natalia is a veteran in the game, she didn't really appreciate what Becky Lynch did and said towards Nikki Bella. Then she issued a challenge towards Becky, which they've had matches before, and they actually had some pretty good ones. And Becky ended up accepting it, but she says, not against you, Natalia, but against Maxine one-on-one. So I don't know if that's Becky Lynch deep down inside kayfabe wanting to give Maxine an opportunity to really go out there and shine, because a lot of people bring up that whole entire promo segment that she had in the back where when Becky was a face, saying that, you can go out there, you can do this, because there was backlash last year of Maxine Dupree at like a house show and everything. So they're pretty much trying to hype her up, making sure that she feels good about everything. So I don't know if that's her and kayfabe trying to give her opportunities, but she didn't accept that challenge towards Natty. It's actually Becky Lynch against Maxine one-on-one. But I'm gonna say right here, I like that Nikki Bella's just not doing special appearances. Like, it is pretty cool to me that she's having her moments here and there, getting herself involved with the Intercontinental Championship, which just helps the championship alone, because
Yes, right?
you're having bigger names surrounding that title. Not necessarily saying she needs to win it, but just having people that were former world champions, like she was Divas champion many years ago, just having main event talent surrounding that title, making it feel special, bringing it to the light, giving it something a little bit different outside of a Lyra Valkyria and a Bailey. And what was your thoughts on, everything that transpired here?
Look, when it comes to Becky Lynch, we also need to I forgot to add this on the note. I just realized why you're talking. Since you brought up somebody that's not able to be part of this title feud no more is Lyra Valkyria. She also got involved with Bailey backstage because Bailey was looking for her. Bailey also, hey, has anybody seen her? Has anybody seen Lyra? She finally found Lyra. Lyra pop out of nowhere and say, yo, Bailey. Bailey like, yo, I'm sorry, I want to apologize. Lyra's like, yo, I'm not here for that. I just want to stay away from you. And I love the word she used, drop. She said, I'm tired of being around this Bailey vortex. She literally used the line that some of the people online, or we have said it many times in our show, the bloodline vortex, the solo vortex, the other characters slash vortex. So we have said this many times in our own shows. So just to hear that being said, I'm like, I feel like the meme of Leonardo DiCaprio when he points at the screen like, "Oh shit, they said the word, they said the meme." That's what I felt like when when she said the word and she walked away, and then that's when Bailey just did her own thing. So I would love to hear your thoughts about that as well once it comes back to you. But to continue on about my thoughts is when it comes to Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella, you said it perfectly that this is making the feud of the title of the IC title feel legitimate. That it feels continue to be serious. It continues to be taken to PLEs. It's gonna go to Paris and be attached to a legend like Nikki Bella, who has made the women division of the Diva champion, being from that era, and also Nikki Bella said facts. She gave her perspective. Hey, I came back to division because I want to test who I was in this current era, in this current time of the women division. I didn't bring this up. I started it and continue it, but then you ladies have been doing well. And I want to just test my might and see what I could do. That's all she has. That's all she had planned. And I appreciate hearing her support and feedback of how she felt, and that's something I appreciated because it tells the fans like she's being transparent. Like, hey guys, I came back for this, and this is what it was. I'm being honest, I'm being transparent, and I want to test it. But I love how she pointed fingers like, but yo, Becky, I have a question to you though. Why is it why do I feel like you are handcuffing the title? Because aren't you supposed to help the next era of the people with the title? Aren't you supposed to bring the next type of woman, the next people to hold the title? But you're not supporting them. You are not bringing them up. So I really appreciate that when it comes to the promo work of them. And of course, Becky, she does a little sneak attack with a little pa to the face, to the chin, to the jaw. So that was a straight knockout. That was really entertaining in that aspect just to see this upcoming match in the next couple of weeks. But you brought up something good right after we said the thing that Maxine Dupree is going to have a one-on-one match with Becky Lynch. And I agree. Is this kayfabe or not? One thing is, I'm happy Maxine Dupree gets the opportunity. We just got to hope that she does good. And Maxine, don't do the warm. It doesn't look good. It's entertaining, yes. Do it at a house show, but don't do it during the show because it doesn't have people take you seriously. So hopefully you're good in the aspect when it comes to the show itself.
I agree. Like, I'm hoping this is like a way to showcase Maxine's ability as a competitor, like seeing how much she's grown since we last seen her, because we haven't really seen her do much in the ring unless she does stuff on main event, but I don't really watch main event. But
Same.
I'm hoping with this opportunity that she has here, like I'm not expecting something at the level of a Lyra Valkyria, a Bailey, Io, Rhea, Stephanie Vecker. Like I'm not expecting things of that extent, but I am at least hoping at the very best that we see something for her that allows her to shine and stand out the next time that she comes in contact with Becky Lynch. So that should be something that's very compelling, and hopefully it's, you know, something good that we can talk about in the show next week. But
I
let's
agree.
talk.
And also, I like the attitude from Natty. I don't know how you felt about that, but I like the attitude. I feel like we've been seeing more attitude outside the ring from Natty when we see her do her single matches that she's been doing with the No Holds Barn or like the street fight that she's been doing that I can't remember the top of my head. Um, but to see her attitude show on screen with Becky, it was a good execution.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. And that's also something that's been pretty relevant when it comes to like Natty and the Indies. Like a lot of people have said, and I haven't like watched the events, but I've seen clips of Natty's attitude on the Indies where she's like more aggressive, not only
Yeah,
in
I would
terms
love
of
to see
like,
that.
yeah, like not only in terms of like wrestling, but in terms of like her attitude as well. So I'm hoping that translates to WWE soon, where she's from, so she could show that kind of attitude there. Because ever since she's tapped into this new persona there, a lot of people have hopped on it. They've been on board with it. They've been really liking it. So I'm hoping we can see some of that soon, because I do miss seeing her on the ring. I will definitely say that. But let's talk about a chaotic match that was no surprise when it comes to how chaotic it got, because you're involving these two guys when it comes to Rusev and Sheamus. Because Rusev and Sheamus, they had round three, chapter three, the third movie, the sequel, whatever you want to call it. And the best thing to really say, it was a very brutal match. They were aggressive nonstop. They kept going at it back and forth. Like these guys want to rip each other into shreds. And we'll touch on something later that also transpired as well once we get to it here. But they pretty much ended up getting a count out because it was just all out brawl, just whipping each other's asses. What did you expect? These guys have been button heads, so that should be no surprise there. And we ended up seeing the fight continued behind the scenes when in terms of the women's tag champions when they came out and they started their segment. We saw it with Sami Zayn when Sami Zayn was talking about what's the next step for him, which me and Vash know is the world title in the near future, and we pretty much have that pinpoint as to when he'll get that opportunity there, which we're both saying the Royal Rumble. So we know that's like
Yep.
something that's the end goal
High chance
for Sami
because
Zayn.
location. The location gives the high chance a
Yeah.
lot more.
Yeah, and if they don't do it and they go with someone else, that's fine as long as it makes sense. But if it's not him, I mean,
It's just
oh
shocking.
boy,
It's like, really, guys?
like
But
one thing I will say for sure, that crowd's going to be behind him completely. But yeah, Sammy's involved
100%.
now, and I'm just going to come out and say it right here. Actually, no, we'll say that for a quick fire segment. So, what do you think about this here? Like the whole aggressiveness between Rusev and Sheamus.
I know what you was exactly about to transition to a question. But when it comes to this match, look, this match, I don't mind brutal, aggressive match chat. I do want to say that. I don't mind aggressive chat when it comes to that. Um, AEW has its pros. Sometimes it gets too bloody or gets too aggressive for me. That's not my cup of tea. At times, there's some certain torture that I'm like, yo, I'm good. However, when it comes to Sheamus, he knows how to make it believable, the aggressiveness, and show the continued animosity of going against each other, but make it feel also safe. Also make it feel like, yo, we're just going ham. Let the wolves, the beast inside us humans as men just go all out. And that's why I see Rusev and Sheamus just go out. They were literally at the corner of the barricade on the right corner of the ring from like from the hard cam. We literally have Sheamus just doing the 10 beats. Bah, 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 bah. And the ref said, yo, 1, 2. They're still going at it. The ref coined that count at 10. Both of them are counted out. They didn't give a fuck. As always, when the two wrestlers still continue, the refs or other producers or other extras come out to play the role, to hold the security guard, to hold them. And I was like, damn, I love this. Like, just go at it. Like, just be a beast. Like, just it felt that entertainment aspect of seeing like I'm gonna rip you apart. You're pissing me the fuck off. Like type of attitude. It felt aggressive, and I love that about Sheamus. But the most funniest part is what Drop brought up, that they were literally fighting while the women tag team was walking to the camera and doing their entrance conversation towards the ring. But then you have Sheamus and fucking Rusev literally go to the Pelican cases and just throw themselves um around the production work, literally just throw themselves out. Most security guards follow them, support it. And then the next time we have Sammy, which we would talk about chat in the quickfire. He was talking about Karrion Kross because I believe he was with Jackie Redmond talking about, hey, what's next after this and everything. And Sammy was always being positive. I love how he brought up at the pipe drop. I really love that he mentioned the pipe. He felt the inner demon inside him that wanted to use the pipe, wanted to get an execution of it. However, I love his response. He said, it's not who he could be, it's who he wants to become. He wants to be a better version of some. And bro, yo, Drop, that made me feel wholesome. That was fucking beautiful. Just hearing that, like, yo, I can't be that guy you guys want me to be. That's not who I am. I am that person, but I don't want to be that person. I want to be the better version of who I can be tomorrow. Like, yo, like Sammy gives me that type of Superman vibe that even if you have the inner demon inside you, you will stay good. You will still be good. At this point, I don't want Sammy to go back heel because he just shows so much good heart, like so much underdog type of energy. That's like, I just love this man. Like, yo, you're a wholesome as hell. But then he got involved with Sheamus and Rusev, and it just kept going bananas after that. So like, okay, this is going crazy with them too, and I love that. But I'm curious now how Sam is going to be involved to this. Is it going to become triple threat? Is it going to go now singles? Because we do have a singles match next week, but we know damn well with Sheamus is going to involve himself in this match later next week. So it's gonna be really interesting how the turn of events go. But Job, talk to me. Any thoughts on what I said about the match? About how Sammy is like how I see him as a Superman persona, being so positive, still trying to fight his inner demons.
Yeah, that's the best part about Sami Zayn, which is why, I don't really want him going heel either, because he just plays the perfect babyface. Just like Cody Rhodes,
Yeah,
he has all of the
does
characteristics
man.
to really play the part, especially if you want to like create a story that a lot of us can invest in terms of like, his story to become a world champion. Obviously, that's probably going to be one of the highlights next year heading into WrestleMania when it comes to Sammy getting his moment. Like, I'm pretty confident it's happening. They teased it when they were doing the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, when him and Seth Rollins had their first interaction with each other. Like, we knew down the line Seth was going to get that title. He got the title. We predicted SummerSlam. He got the title at SummerSlam, and Sami Zayn is going to be the one that's going to get that title off of him, because he's going to be the ultimate evil that Sammy has to overcome in order to get that opportunity to become world champion. And it's going to be a perfect moment. It's going to be, very emotional once we get there. But I do like the characteristics that Sami Zayn brings to the table, because, that just shows who he is as a person and who he wants to truly be. And that's something I really respect out of him.
I agree. So, like, there's something that we're gonna see in the future when it comes to Sammy down the line, because we said again, we've been harping on this from earlier this year once we heard with Royal Rumble is gonna be in Saudi, so we know that's gonna be exciting. Hey, that's a good thing. Me and Drop and Walkers will be watching Royal Rumble during the time at 2 p.m. EST most likely, and
Yep.
be doing the coverage at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. chat at that time. So we know they always have those early shows. The same thing as Paris. I think Paris of that Monday and Friday Night SmackDown will be early showing as well. I believe international Netflix as well. So it's gonna be pretty interesting when the time comes. But for this event of Sammy and Rusev and Sheamus, I'm really excited. One of our conversations for the quickfire segment was announcement of Sammy versus Rusev for next week. Are you excited about this? Because is this their first time in the ring, or has this happened before? I don't recall or know of.
I'm not entirely sure on the top of my head. I want to say yes because I don't remember anything that really came to mind. But regardless, though, I am excited for this match because they're both really good in the ring. It would be really interesting to see Sammy take on Rusev because, you know, that's a underdog, the ultimate babyface going up against somebody really aggressive like Rusev. So I feel like their styles will match pretty well together once both of those guys get in the ring. So I am looking forward to that match. That's going to be happening for sure, 100%.
I agree, and I'm here for this match. Like Drop said, I'm unaware if this is their first match. If it is, awesome. I can't wait to see how the chemistry is, and we know Sam is gonna be demolished by Rusev most likely in the first half of the match. We know Rusev's gonna be playing the aggressive, the attacker type. So I know with Sammy halfway in the match, he's gonna be like, I could do this all day. Like he like the Captain America, like the Boy Scout. I have so many comic references going out right with Sammy. Bro, is Superman, boys, Captain America. He bro can do this all day. But I know we don't have all day because we also have a few things more to talk about, right, Drop?
Yeah, we have our quick fire segments, so we're going to be talking about a couple of other things that transpired in the show as well. So we already talked about Liv Morgan's status already, so we're going to talk about what we found out about Io Sky when it comes to what's going on with Io, what's going on with Rhea, and everything along the lines of that. But we had a segment backstage with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, and at first the segment started with Io talking with the Kabuki Warriors, which you guys know them to be Kairi Sane and Asuka. So they were talking and everything, and then Rhea approached Io saying that she wants to talk to her, and the Kabuki Warriors don't really seem to vibe with Rhea, obviously because of, you know, past things that they dealt with before. So that makes me wonder, is this something we're going to be seeing in the near future in terms of either Io and Rhea going up against the Kabuki Warriors, or if it's something entirely separate where Io has like some sort of tension with Asuka and Kairi because of her friendship with Rhea. So that'll be very interesting to dive into. But basically, like, the whole conversation here is that we had Rhea talking to Io because just like how Sammy and Rusev was set up, Rhea confronted Io that, you know, she talked to Adam Pearce about getting a match with Naomi next week for the Women's World Championship. And she says, you know, she respects she's doing everything like that. And she says, you know, whatever, if you end up winning this match, I mean, me and you could run it back and everything. And you just had Io going up to her saying that, you know, you haven't beat me yet, you know, giving a little smile on her face. And then we end up moving on from there. Naomi ended up speaking to the Barclays Center during commercial break. I didn't see this, but Vash did. And once again, with Braxton ends up getting interrupted by Stephanie Baker. And it was pretty much building to the match that these ladies are going to be having at the Clash of Paris PLE, saying, you know, actually, no, I did see this. Now I remember it. No, I take that back. I did see this. And we ended up having both of them conversing with one another. And basically, Braxton was saying, oh, you went up against the two top competitors in our division with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Now you got Stephanie Vaquer to worry about. And then Naomi ended up making a comment about taking her horns and, you know, shoving it up where the sun doesn't shine. So that's going to be a very interesting match to say. I am super excited for that. We ended up getting Grayson Waller and Penta on the show as well. It was, it was something. The New Day was there. They didn't really seem to pay any mind to Grayson Waller, but Penta ended up winning his match moving forward. And then, of course, we have the big thing that we'll touch on last, but I want to hear
Yes, I agree.
Vash's thoughts on everything else that I talked about first.
Yeah, I agree, because the last thing that we should talk about is because that's like the closing end, the little bow tie of our end of the night, because that's something that we're both passionate about and care about. And I know we have more words to say that for grappling of the week, but when one of the things you mentioned, so when it comes to Finn Balor and JD, yes, the Liv Morgan thing we brought up already, but the one thing is that also JD and Finn were also saying that they already beat all of the Raw tag team division. They already beat the New Day. They already beat the Viking Warriors or the War Raiders. And they already beat another team, I forgot. So they already have defeated 3 teams out of the Raw division, and they're the 4th one, and they already are the best in the world. So they're talking about how very high and mighty. Nobody interrupted them. Whoopie doop. It was literally a hype promo said to recognize that they're still champions and still not defending the fucking titles. No wonder they're now in POEs, guys. It is what it is. You can't really blame them, by the way. You can blame the booking. It's not their fault. The following thing is that drop said we have Io Sky and Rhea. Rhea, yo, you will becoming very close to your opponent, the person that you want to beat, the person that you want to take down. And it's pretty interesting how that is. And I find that really ironic that Rhea's like, yo, Io, let's talk real quick. And it's just interesting how Asuka and we have Kairi, the Kubiko Warriors, just kind of walks away, but also Asuka kind of looks down on Rhea like, this person's here, and just walks away. So maybe I put this in the thread as a prediction. It was the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka, and Kairi versus Rhea and Io in the future. You have any thoughts about that real quick, Drop? Do you think that's a possibility of how close Rhea and Io are? They have like a mutual respect of one another, of champion, competitor and competitor, of wrestler. But you think they'll be down the line in the future, in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months? You think that these two would tag team versus the Kabuki Warriors? You think Io will go that far to team up with her good chemistry opponent versus the Kabuki Warriors? You think that will happen?
I can definitely see it, especially if because Asuka's the one that's really stirring the pot because Kyrie's just following along with it. But Asuka's the one that's really stirring the pot because this is like the second time she's really done this. Whenever Rhea pops up, they just end up walking away. So that's definitely a possibility. It's either her and Rhea end up, working alongside each other if the Kabuki Warriors end up turning heel on Io, and then you have Rhea there for comfort, backing her up, or it's just a plot line for Io if she ends up dealing with, Asuka and Kairi if they end up having a couple matches with each other. But with that in mind, I can't really think of anything else Rhea could do, so there's definitely a possibility she could be involved in that.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Who knows? We might see Io and Rhea, 2 dominant force versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss in the future. That's a possibility too. Or we have the Kubiko Wars also versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. That's also something that we might see down the line. To continue on, one of my complaints, because you guys were waiting for something. I said I have a complaint about the production of this show tonight. Why the flying fox of monkeys did you fucking production team coordinate such a bad timing of having your world woman champion Naomi speak during commercial break? I literally saw this because, Chad, we have a VPN. I don't want to miss stuff, so I just go straight once 8 o'clock hits, or 7:50 or 8:05, because sometimes I'm a couple minutes behind because of life. And I press VPN at her first, reload Netflix, and lock in. I skip the commercials. I watch every single moment, so I could pay attention. Also, I have my notes down. But with all that being the case, that we have a possibility of Naomi and Stephanie in the future for Paris. Great. Still mad about the production team, but you can't do anything about it because it happened. If people want to watch it, go online. You could bitch and complain at WWE, or maybe it was Netflix fault, or it was bad coordination. At the end of the day, it sucks for what it is. But guess what? If Drop or Walkers want to watch it, they could go to Netflix through the VPN, or they could go online like anybody else did. They miss it. You cannot blame us. You could blame technically the production team. They're the one that messed up, and I do blame them. However, when it comes to Stephanie Vaquer, good promo. Braxton spoke about the hype. Naomi, I believe they knew that they messed up, so I believe they did a round 2. And to have Stephanie there and everything, so work out better to start building it up, because we know after Naomi beats Io, like Drop said, we have a match set next week. We know Naomi's not gonna lose this belt because we have, a match in Paris already set up. After that match happens, we know Stephanie is gonna involve herself or continue the first night of the promo, or it will be set up the following week. So it's gonna be pretty exciting about that. And then our Greek will drop. Penta and Grayson Waller happy. You know, one thing I could say, sorry, 2 words I could say, settle me. And then if I had the hat here with me, I will go to the living room and grab it, but I don't. I will have literally my wife Fedora hat and do the walk. Because this man with the fucking 10-inch hat, wrong one, 10-inch, 10 feet diameter hat, this man's fucking Penta look amazing in it. I was crying. The match happened, but look, chat. Honestly, not saying that me and Job don't got much to say, but we don't honestly got much to say because the match literally happened. Grayson Waller folded. Literally, is the story along still happening with the New Day. Literally, still, they're still fucking mourning. I'm like, all right, cool. Y'all gonna mourn for fucking 3-4 weeks. How about y'all get back on the plate? I don't know, Triple H. I don't know how the story continues to go on, but yeah, I find it entertaining. Go for it. The question is on my end, what the fuck is Austin Theory? We have not seen Austin Theory in so long on TV that I recall to see him involved. We only see Grayson Waller still losing and Penta still winning. So it was a little nice segment of Adam Pearce trying to find an opponent. Grayson Waller comes in. Like, you know what? You're going to open your mouth and be annoying. How about you and him fight tonight? Call it a day. And that's what happened. That's all I got so far for our quickfire segment before we get to the last thing for discussion. You have anything to add towards what I said?
No, I think you said it pretty well when it came to expressing your thoughts on what we discussed here with our quickfire segments. We might as well just dive into, I wouldn't say necessarily our big talking point, but definitely a highlight to close out our show when it comes to the status of Karrion Kross, because as we saw on Monday Night Raw tonight, there was mention of Karrion Kross, but Karrion Kross was not on Monday Night Raw tonight. Neither was Scarlett, because their contract is actually coming to an end this upcoming weekend, according to Fightful. And I mean, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm just gonna be blunt about the entire thing. Unless we get something either tomorrow or before we do Grappling with the Week this Thursday, I don't think they're gonna be staying with the company. I mean, something would have happened if that was the case. They clearly don't have any interest to really do anything. So to me, it personally seems like they're just going to let the contract expire and they're going to let them go. I feel like the match that they had with Sammy on during SummerSlam was a good indication as well. Not saying because, he ended up losing the match, there really wasn't anything that Sammy was really saying. Like, he literally just put it behind him, and look, now he's involved with Rusev and Sheamus now because of what they're doing. So it's like, what really is there with Kross? Like, is he just gonna go up to some random person now and just start something with them and try to play mind games with them and everything? But yeah, I don't personally think they're gonna stay. I don't know what's going on, because it's like, one of the things I do want to point out that we didn't really talk about on our SummerSlam coverage last night was the fact
that bring exactly the same thing I said. Yep.
Yeah, so there was a moment where Triple H was out there, and they don't really do the press conferences anymore, which is fine because they never really did anything anyway. It was just people going in there asking what their what they like to eat, or just random stuff that's like not really worth spending your time there. But we had a moment with Triple H where they were chanting, "We want Kross, we want Kross," and he thought they were chanting, "We want Brock, we want Brock." And he's like, "Oh, well, you got him, but that's not what was said." And then you ended up having
Nope.
Karrion Kross
No.
tweet it, say, "We hear you," and everything like that. You ended up having Braun Strowman say something. I don't
Yeah,
necessarily
Adam
remember.
Sure.
I don't remember
He
necessarily what
said,
it was.
sorry guys, I'm a butcher the quotes. If you give me, or you give me 5 seconds, I think we have in the WWE thread. I think I have it on my left monitor. Yes, he's replied, say, they don't care about the fans. Explanation point 5 times. They care about nepotism, ass kisser, and their buddies. So, chat. Take that as you will. We will not be breaking down that right now at this moment. We're just bringing you conversation. We'll be breaking down more this Thursday for Gap in the Week. So stay tuned for that at 8:30 p.m. EST. Yes, we're gonna give you the plug for the next show that we do more of a breakdown for this conversation because this is a fucking highlight of the week. Because you know why? Because myself and Drop and Walkers have been big, huge fucking supporters of Karrion Kross, and we've been wanting him. Literally, the fans have literally made the tweet of what it was 2 years ago or a year and a half ago of "We Want Cody" chants.
Mm-hmm.
They literally made the "We Want Cody" chants round 2 this year, but instead of "We Want Cody," "We Want Kross." It was tweets. It was in the arena. And at times, it was when Karrion Kross was doing his backstage segment or during commercial when he was with Braxton or Jackie. He was hearing the crowd and he was acknowledging them. And then Triple H is gonna do that, say, "Yeah, we heard you. You got Brock. We heard you." I'm like, bro, what? And not having them on tonight, and by Fightful reporting the source that right now Scarlett and Karrion Kross are not on Monday Night Raw at the Barclays Center, and the contract ends this coming weekend on the 12th, I believe. So, yeah, this coming weekend between the 7th to the 10th. I mean, the 8th to the 10th. So the contract is done this weekend. So, like Drop said, the contract may just be like whoop, gone out the window, and just that's it. And it's sad because I'm a fan. I want him to do more, but if he is not being deserved, if he's not being loved by the company and deserved, guess what? If he goes to AEW, if he goes to a different company, you fans that have been asking him to do something, go support him wherever he goes. The same fans that supported Ricochet, the same fans that supported where other wrestlers that you have seen gone in the next company, do the same thing for Kross because I will. I will watch AW if he goes there. I will watch TNA if he goes there. I will watch any other company if Karrion Kross goes there because he deserves it.
I agree with you. I'm just hoping the best for him. I'm hoping things head down the right direction because it's unfortunate that things had to be this way. It's just really weird to me because it's like you hear the crowd saying stuff, getting the attention. When he has those promo segments on Monday Night Raw, you hear the crowd behind him. They want to see something out of it. Why aren't you capitalizing on that? Like, that's just untapped potential. You could do something with it. He has the look, he has the entrance, he has the girl, he has the promo, he has the wrestling ability. I just don't understand why we can't just, take a little risk, do something. Not saying that we want to push him into like the world title picture or anything. We're not saying that, but at least do something with him that is meaningful and actually put him in the light again. Because I mean, that one win over Sammy didn't really seem to do much for him because they didn't really push it forward. If they put him over Sammy at SummerSlam again, it wouldn't really affect Sammy because Sammy's at the point where he's bulletproof, so it really wouldn't affect him. So I feel like if Kross got that and then we got whatever we got out of Sammy, that would be there. Like that's the one thing that so bugs me about this whole thing where he's like, Sammy's a liar. I wanted to know exactly what that meant. Like, what was the context behind it? Like, is he a liar in a sense of, oh, the whole thing with the bat where he was going to hit him with that, like he's like more aggressive, he's willing to go the extra mile with that, or is it something else entirely? But we're never going to know that question, and more than likely when you see us with Grappling the Week on Thursday, we might have a good question for that because that's definitely going to be a big talking point. That's for
100%.
sure.
I can't wait for that to when the time comes, because I know I will be here for this Thursday for this discussion, because I know that there's more news report for this. It's going to be interesting PR week for the company WWE and how they try to censor with things going on with a certain characters and people coming back and etc. I know it's going to be very interesting.
Definitely. But with that in mind, that's our show. That's our coverage for Monday Night Raw tonight. I'm going to share my final thoughts on the show. I'll pass it to Vash afterwards so he can express how he feels as well. But when it comes to this episode of Monday Night Raw, I thought it was an alright show. Nothing crazy. Nothing like it's an out-of-the-world kind of show. It did what it needed to do in terms of giving us a good idea of where Seth Rollins is headed. We now know that he is going to be dealing with not just LA Knight and Seth Rollins, but Roman Reigns, and he has his boys to back him up. So that seems to be the sort of main event program on the show, so we know what's going with that. I like that. We have Charlotte and Alexi here, so it's going to be nice to see them involved with tag teams in the women's division when it comes to building up those titles more, so I'm interested to see where that goes. We got Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella starting a feud with one another, so that's going to be nice to see where that leads. Hoping we get a match with her and Natty built leading up to Clash in Paris. That would be nice. Rusev and Sheamus, again, always beating each other up, but getting Sammy involved, knowing how we have an opportunity not just to see Sammy versus Rusev, but potentially Sammy versus Rusev, as Sammy versus Sheamus as well. That's me really intrigued. And when it comes to our women's title picture, you know, prepping Stephanie for her big moment at the Paris PLE is going to be nice. Seeing where things lead if Io and Rhea is going to be nice, because it definitely feels like it's going to be something with the Kabuki Warriors, because we have the main event program with the women currently being occupied with different people, so you kind of have to switch things around with that. And yeah, the Karrion Kross thing, again, as we said, it's unfortunate things like that are the way it is, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens. But what did you think about Raw tonight? Is there a couple highlights to you? Do you like how certain things are going? Let us know, Vash.
Yes, as well, chat. Let us know how you felt about tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw, about the show ourselves, and let us know if you guys enjoy our conversation, because sometimes we may disagree, sometimes we may agree on the same thing, and if you guys don't agree with us, let us know in the comment section down below. But when it comes to Monday Night Raw, how did I enjoy the Barclays Center? I'm gonna be honest, chat. I was sad. Why was I sad? I cannot attend because of the Barclays Center, because of funds. Other than personal opinion out of the way, on the actual critique side, it was nice to see the world champion Seth freaking Rollins, our third or fourth person in line that has become champion in this new world heavyweight title versus LA. Now we had a good match, but then nobody got pinned because not to hurt the LA Knight coming back after not being in TV for the past month. Seth just becoming champion, doing his first title defense. This man is a workhorse, but also a damn liar. Because we have also CM Punk, we have Roman Reigns coming out. Great. Roman Reigns, are you gone for the next 8 months now or 3 months? Who knows? Or will you be coming back for Survivor Series to continue a feud, maybe a 3-on-3? Who knows? Only time will tell. Like I said, with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, let's see what you got. I would love to see a match of you two versus Sol Ruka and Zarya. I don't know if that's possible, since, like I said, I haven't kept up with NXT in the past 3 weeks. I haven't watched, so I don't know any of the highlights. I don't know what story is going on, so I'm a bit out of touch of who or what's going on within the certain groups and chemistries. But then when it comes with the banger after banger after banger, it was a banger. When it comes to the last thing I want to say, Karrion Kross, I can't wait for Thursday, because I know, chat, that might be our main topic of tonight's show, our main conversation, because it's going to be an interesting highlight to talk about when it comes to Karrion Kross and where is his direction. Since right at the moment, if WWE wants us to be fans, wants us to give you money for your merch, for your seats, and etc., for what you're watching, for Unreal on Netflix and everything, let us know, because trust me, we will speak to you as fans to the company and show you how we feel, because fans speak, either the tweets or buying the tickets in the seats. But also, fans, I want to give you a quick plug as well before we do our outro. Follow us on social media, comment down below, subscribe, like the stream as well. Continue supporting us in any way. If you're entertained by us and what we speak about, if you're entertained by myself and Drop or what we give the thoughts and the highlights of tonight's show, chime in as well. Join our Discord community as well. Let's have conversation throughout the night, throughout SmackDown. There's also the new show that came out, the documentary of Unreal. Myself and Drop hasn't yet finished it. I know Watkins has. So if you guys want to also do a coverage for that, for Grappling the Week next week, or just to talk about it in a separate video, give you guys thoughts, let us know and down in the comment section below. Please reach out to us. We don't bite. We always are friendly to have a conversation. And as always, all the links are down below in the description for where to find us on all type of social media. That's all I got, Drop.
I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. And if you enjoyed what we had to say, why not do exactly what Vash just said? We are known as Weebs of the Ring on all of our social media platforms. Also, be sure to use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring to interact with us about anything regarding wrestling before, during, or after our shows. Feedback is always appreciated, as we are nothing without you guys tuning in. Weebs of the Ring is presented by AniMa W3 Studio. Thanks to our production team for all of their hard work, and thank you once again for joining us. And remember, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, everybody. Got 5 straight streams with us. Hope you guys enjoyed them. Be sure to check them out when it comes to grappling all the way up until now. And we'll see you guys on Thursday for Grappling with the Week. Have a good one, guys.
It's a banger.